Yo, what's up, YouTube? Comment, like, subscribe. I just want to go over the Bible. Let's go over it. And I want to go over Samson. You know, he was a Hebrew judge and hero of the book of Judges, known of his immense strength. His initial use of strength for good, his later struggle with sin, and his eventual downfall due to Delilah and the Philistines. It's like we have all been through it. We all know because women, they are your downfall. Let's see. I mean, these are some key points of him. Like he has a strong. He's like me. He's strong. He's built. He's like me. I'm just kidding. Let me see. What else? What else? Um, there's nothing to do except for sin and temptation. It's like that they like come to him and he gives in. Let me see. And betrayal and loss of strength, final act of strength. Because like I hang on to the Bible. I hang on to the movies because like that movie was really, really, really good. You see, and it says, let me see, the birth of Samson. We're gonna go over the Bible a little bit, and we're gonna mix in some movies. Again, the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hand of the Philistines for 40 years. Now, there was no certain man that was zero. No, now there was a certain man from Zorah of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife who was barren and had no children. And the angel of the Lord appeared to the woman and said to her, "Indeed, now you are barren and have borne no children, but you shall conceive and bear a son." You know, and she bore a son. I mean, his name was Samson. You know, let me see. And here it is. Samson's Philistine wife. Because as time passes, he marries another woman besides Delilah. And speaking from the Bible, now Samson went down to Timnah and saw a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. So he went up and told his father and mother, saying, "I have seen a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me as a wife." Then his father and mother said to him, "Is there a woman among the daughters of your brethren or among all my people that you must go and get a wife from the uncircumcised Philistines?" And I remember that. I also remember like he fell in love with somebody that he wasn't supposed to fall in love with. And like it's somebody that I don't know, somebody that you're not supposed to fall in love with. And I remember that they all come and see him, like all of the people that were against them. And I remember it was what was that guy? Hold on. Okay, well, before we get into like Samson's wife, there was three things Samson couldn't do. He couldn't drink wine, he couldn't eat unclean meat, and cutting or shaving his hair. And he did all three, and that's why he lost his strength. But why his wife actually, look, here it is. They care something. Okay. Then Samson said to them, "Oh, because like they got together and he challenged them, and he says, and he challenged his opposite. Uh, then Samson said to them, 'Let me pose a riddle to you. If you can correctly solve and explain it to me within the 7 days of the feast, then I will give you 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothing. But if you cannot explain it to me, then you shall give me the 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothing.' And they said to him, 'Pose your riddle, that we may hear it.' So he said to them, 'Out of the eater came something to eat, and out of the strong came something sweet.'" And that was his first riddle. Now, for 3 days, they could not explain the riddle. They couldn't. But it came to pass on the seventh day that they said to Samson's wife, "Entice your husband that he may explain the riddle to us, or else we will burn you and your father's house with fire. Have you invited us in order to take what is ours? Is that not so?" Then Samson's wife went to him and said, "You only hate me. You do not love me. You have posed a riddle in the sons of my people, but you have not explained it to me." And he said to her, "Look, I have not explained it to my father or my mother, so should I explain it to you?" Now she had wept on him the 7 days while the feast listed, and it happened the seventh day that he told her, because she pressed on him. Then she explained the riddle to the sons of her people. So the men of the city said to him on the seventh day before the sun went down, "What is sweeter than honey, and what is stronger than a lion?" And he said to them, "If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle." Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon him mighty, and he went down to Ashkelon and killed 30 other men, and took their apparel and gave the changes clothing to those who had explained the riddle. So his anger was aroused, and he went back up to his father's house, and Samson's wife was given to his companion who had been his best man. And and now let me tell you the part of the movie, because in the Samson movie, I think they kill her. They kill her. They don't give her over to the best man. Um, and I think he burns all the fields of the Philistines. He burns all the fields of the Philistines, and he did so much in the movie, and at the end they just kill her. Okay, Samson defeats the Philistine. For a while in time of wheat harvest, it happened that Samson visited his wife with a young goat, and he said, "Let me go in to my wife into her room." But her father would not permit him to go in. Her father said, "I really thought that you thoroughly hated her, therefore I gave her to your companion. Is not her younger sister better than she? Please take her instead." And Samson said to them, "This time I shall be blameless regarding the Philistines if I harm them." And um, this doesn't happen in the movie, where the dad actually passes the girl's sister. That doesn't happen in the movie. Hold on. Here is the more elaborate. Went and caught 300 foxes, and he took torches, turned the foxes tail to tail, and put them a torch between each pair of tails. When he had set the torches on fire, he let the foxes go into the standings gain of the Philistines and burned up both the shorter and the standing grain as well as the vineyards and the olive groves. Then the Philistines saying, "Who has done this?" Like, yeah, like this clearly comes out in the movie. The answer is Samson, the son-in-law of the Timnite, because he has taken his wife and given her to the companion. So the Philistines came up and burned her and her father with fire. Yeah, I remember that. Like, they actually do kill her. And said to them, "Since you would do a thing like this, I will surely take revenge on you. And after that, I will see." So he attacked them hip and thigh with a great slaughter. Then he went down and dwelt in the cleft and rocks of Etam. Now the Philistines went up and camped in Judah and deployed themselves late. The men of Judah said, "Why have you come against us?" And then let's see what else could I say. He separates himself for a bit. He said to him, "Come down." And like, yeah, they were looking for Samson's the Philistines, and he came to live with the devil. This was, oh yeah, and then he meets Delilah, Samson and Delilah. Watch, this is Judges 16, and this is the first where he meets Delilah. Now, Samson went to Gaza and says that harlot there are the went to her. After it happened that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah, and the lords of the Philistines came up her and said to her, "Entice him and find out where his great strength lies, and by what means we may overpower him, and we may blind him to afflict him, and every one of us will go give you 1,100 pieces of silver." So Delilah said to Samson, "Please tell me where your great strength lies, and with what you may be bound to afflict you." And like Samson, plays at first, you know, and he says, "If they bind me with 7 fresh bowstrings, not yet dried, then I shall become weak like any other man." So she goes and tells the man, and she does it. And as soon as she says, "The Philistines are upon you," he breaks loose. With his great strength, he breaks loose. And then Delilah said to Samson, "Look, you have mocked me and told me lies." But like, why can't he see that, like, every time he says something, like, it happens? Like, that's like mockery after mockery after mockery. Like, I mean, it's kind of tough. Like, when you're in love and you see all of this, like, it's tough to know that, like, it's not tough, but like, that she's betraying you, but you can't do nothing. I don't know. Like, I saw it, but like, I couldn't do anything about it. Why I can't? You can do something about it, but like, your love is too great. So I kind of understand, but kind of don't. But yeah. So he said to her, "If they bind me securely with new ropes that have never been used, then I shall become weak and be like any other man." Therefore, Delilah took new ropes and bound him with them and said to him, oh, and this is what she always repeats: "The Philistines are upon you, Samson." The Philistines are upon you, but he broke them off his arm like a thread. Like, come on, like that's two. Delilah said to Samson, until now you have mocked me and told me lies. Tell me what you may be bound with. And that's insane. That's twice. Twice. And he said to her, if you weave the 7 locks of my head into a web of the loom. So she wove it tightly with batten of loom and said to him, the Philistines are upon you, Samson. But he awoke from his sleep and pulled out the batten in the web where the loom. You know? That's three. That's three. Then she said to him, how can you say I love you when your heart is not with me? You have mocked me these 3 times, and I have not told me where your great strength lies. And like that's amazing because those 3 times she betrayed him. But I said it and I repeat, it's tough. When you're in love, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough because I don't know, you're just in love. And then comes the last time where Samson actually says it's my hair, like I can't cut it, I can't do anything. Let me see. Then okay. Then he told her, oh, this is when he says, if I am shaving, then my strength will leave me, and I shall become weak and like any other man. So, like, he's sleeping and she shaves him. And that's when she says, the Philistines are upon Samson. So he awoke he awoke from his sleep and said, I will go out as before at other times and shake myself free. But he did not know that the Lord had departed from him. And he loses his strength. And the Philistines took him and put him on his eyes and brought him down to Gaza. They brought him with brown fettered, and ginger, he became grinder in the prison. However, the hair of his head began to grow again after it had been shaven. And and throughout the process, because it's just one, it's a hair. Throughout the process, he has he has drinking wine because I remember that there was like a, what would you call it, like the king's son in the king's son in the movie, he gives him wine. It's like, you kid, like it's just so you can get a little taste, and he gives him something like that, but he makes him drink the wine. You know that's number one. And then he eats unclean meat, and I think he eats a lion that he kills, and that's unclean meat. And like the last part right here with Delilah with the cutting or shaving his hair, you know? So his strength just leaves him. Just leaves him. All right. Now, the lords of the Philistines gathered together and offered a great sacrifice to Dagon, their god, and to rejoice. And they said, our God has delivered into our hands Samson, our enemy. When the people saw him, they praised their God, for they said, our God has delivered into our hands our enemy, this destroyer our land, and the one who multiplied our dead. So it happened when their hearts were merry that they said, call for Samson. Watch. They call for Samson, and like Samson just gets his last strength and he does it. Let me see. Then Samson called for the Lord, saying, O Lord God, remember me, I pray. Strengthen me, I pray. Just this once, O God, that I may with one blow take vengeance on the Philistines for my two eyes, because they take off his eyes. They take off his two eyes. And like, like in the movie, they also like gauge him out. And Samson took hold of the two middle pillars of which supported in the temple, and he braced himself against them, one on his right and the other on his left. And Samson said, "Let me die with the Philistines." And he pushed with all his might, and the temple fell on the Lord and all the people who were in it. So the dead that he killed at his death were more than he had killed in his whole entire life. And that's amazing, because I remember in the movie he makes it out, and his brother is the one that tells the stories, and his brothers and all his father's household came down and took him and brought him up and buried him between Zorah and Estaol in the tomb of his father Manoah. He had judged Israel 20 years. And that is the story of Samson. I think I think the story of Samson, it teaches you a lot. I mean, it's about trusting women. Like, there's so many flaws that Samson had. It's like we are weak, but God is strong. If we put hope in ourselves, others, we become like Samson, weak and enslaved. Samson is a reminder that our true strength and hope is found in the Lord. Like, all our strength is the Lord's, and He gives it to us. He hands it to us because He has mercy upon us. He loves us. It shows us the importance of obedience to God, the dangers of prioritizing personal desires over God's will. Because he had personal desires. Like, even in the movie, he shows you like he 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 was a lover. He was a lover, and God still loves us with our flaws. And the ultimate triumph of God's grace and mercy, because like he knows all our flaws, but we are still chosen, because he has grace, he has mercy over us. And this is just a little demonstration of his vulnerability and a lack of discipline, particularly in relationships to women, because women are, oh God, I know, like, like, I mean, like, there's lust and passion. Samson described in the man of great strength, but also a man plagued by lust and passion, because he is a great big lover. Even though he's strong, he might be everything. Like, I would, never mind. But he has lust and he has passion. He considered disregarded the laws and set before him in his own vow as a Nazarite, which included abstaining the grapes and abstaining from cutting his hair, and like that's too much. But being as big as you are, being as muscular as you are, I don't know. You can't trust yourself over God. You can't lack discernment. And it's God over everything. I mean, I want to know what your greatest weakness is. Like, like, not your greatest weakness. Like, what do you lack? Women. Damn. Well, like, like, this is just Samson's story, like a story that I really enjoyed, that I really like in the Bible. And yeah, maybe next time I talk about somebody in the Bible, I'm gonna talk about Job. And I know that my pastor, Mr. John Adams, went over Job, but Job is really inspiring to me, just the way that Samson is, like, because I'm like Samson. But yeah, like Samson, like, I think it was his passion for women, his lust, his loyalness to women, because like being betrayed 3 times and not catching one, or still giving up his secret. I don't know. That's amazing. Like, I mean, it's love, like I said, and I repeat it. Love makes you do some crazy things, and I know, because I personally know that love does make you do some crazy things. But yeah, that was like a little bit of Samson's story. Like, tell me, what else am I missing of Samson? And yeah, that's his great strength. And like I said, he did all three of his, like, he drank wine, he ate bad fruit, he ate, and he cut his hair. He did all three, and one of them was because of the Philistine king, not king, his son. To the movie was his son, but he made him drink wine. Like, you child, like he says it in the movie. He says, "You child," and like, it's because like he didn't want to drink, because he didn't say he didn't say because God gave him the power because of that, but he drank wine because the prince fooled him. And yeah, Delilah was the one that said, and like he just fell in love. Like, it's because love, 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 love. It makes you do a whole bunch of stupid. But yeah, like, and I can tell you from my own experience, love makes you do crazy things, because, like, I mean, I'm not even gonna say anything, but be careful with love. Be careful who you fall for. Keep a close eye, and take care. God bless you. Take care. This was a little piece, or I don't know if it was a complete Samson story. We're like, yeah, it was the Samson story. Comment, like, subscribe, and God bless you. Take care. I love you. I miss you. Even though I miss your big cheeks. God bless you. Take care.